G'day viewers, we're in Los Angeles and this is a quick tutorial for the F59PH. Alright, the first thing I want to do is climb up the stairs. You can only get in through the front, there's no entry from the back. And open up the nose door, go inside, open up the other door that hides where the toilet would be if this wasn't Transcend World. I just noticed the glowing step. It's kind of cool. Alright, it's introductions inside. You have the HEP power panel. This is on usually when you spawn in. I haven't had to turn it on at all. This always seems to show overspeed on the engine. I don't know why. Over here on this panel, there's really nothing for you to do unless you want to. Oh, you could turn the blended brakes on and off if you wanted something exciting to do, I suppose. No, I don't want to give it up. You don't need to do anything down here on the train control itself, but some of the buttons are actually active. And over here there is TMS, which is speed and I think vigilance as well. And down here there's PTC. Now this route doesn't actually support PTC, but hopefully that is there for a route that might. Its natural home, oh, you can't get into the machine room, by the way. Its natural home is Antelope. And let's get it set up. We're just taking this one out to CMOF, so it's a non-revenue train. So I'll put the reverser in. And I will cut the brakes in to passenger, all the way down to the passenger setting. That, interestingly, is releasing the brakes, so move the handle down to the release position. And let's put the independent brake on while we're chatting so it doesn't roll away. If you wanted to open the doors, there aren't door controls in the cab, but they're the usual things. So left and right on the D-pad or Y and U on your keyboard. Contact signaler is on the phone. We put our headlights to bright with ditch lights. They're the flashing lights that go when the horn goes off. Windscreen wipers are up here. You can set them to whatever speed you want and they will run. And when you want to turn it off, you just set it back to 0 and they will automatically park. There is a little reading lamp if you want it up there. Same on the other side, there's one up there as well. And you can also control the left-hand side windscreen wiper from up there. Alright, looking into here, so reverse is already in forward, we're about ready to go. Gauge wise, so you've got the door close indicators over here, and you've got wheel slip and a sand indicator. You can turn the gauge lights up and down if you want to. You can do the same with the ammeter display. This is the ammeter just here. Behind it there's another one which dims the speedometer, but I can't reach that at the moment because of the brake handle, so let's move that a little bit. And there we go, we can change the indicator's speed. You can't actually really see that when you're doing it, so you kind of have to suck it and see. I suppose you could move the... Yeah, you could do that. You could zoom right out, and it makes it brighter and darker as suiting the moment. Alright. It's almost all we need to know. So there's a bell button. Top is on, bottom is off. There's a horn. It's a really good horn on this one. The horn does auto-activate the bell. There's manual sanding and lead truck sanding, so that's sanding in the front of a unit only. There is a horn sequencer which works over, I think, about 24 miles an hour from memory. And let's get on with it then. So let's grab a couple of notches just to get us moving. And now if the engine revs come up, I'll release the independent brake. Prototypically, you'd keep the bell running throughout the platform and the yard, but I'm not going to because I want to talk to you. And the bell's kind of loud and annoying. It's quite a good sounding unit with recording from the real train used. Now these units are largely not in operation anymore. I think they've got 1 or 2 of them. Most of them have either been scrapped or they've gone off to Go Transit in Canada, or they've been sent over to Mexico. The scenarios that come with it in the game kind of reflect that, because it's last day for the F59, and there's a scenario where you're taking a whole train of these things out to be scrapped. Just going back to idle now, because we're almost up to the speed limit, which is 12 miles an hour through here. And we have got a signal that's allowing us to proceed down in front of us, the red over green there. That's reminding me to keep going slowly, because we are going to be changing tracks. And the second from the left signal on the bridge up there applies to us. The bridge I'm talking about is that one up there, the signal bridge. Not the tramway bridge, the signal bridge. Oh, sorry, we're in America. The trolley bridge. Or maybe they call it a light rail down here. Put a little bit of power back on, because curves and switches do eat some of your power. Eventually, TMS will go off, and you'll see flashing up here before it goes off. Then you can acknowledge it with your Q key or B or circle on your controllers. Contact signaler is on the phone here if you need it. And if you need an emergency stop, you can. It just stops the engines though, not the train. There is an acknowledgement for ATS and an acknowledgement for train monitoring system. This route, I don't think the train actually knows how fast you're supposed to be going, so I don't think you will hear from that terribly much. Alright, we can now speed up. Being a true passenger train, we'll go straight to notch 4. In fact, just so you can hear it, why don't I go to notch 8? You wouldn't normally do that. She is proper loud in notch 8, and this does give me a convenient opportunity to show you what happens when you put the brakes on. So initially the air brakes will apply, and then you will hear the engine start to rev up again, and then you will see this gauge in front of us here, the ammeter gauge, will start to go into the yellow territory for dynamic braking. And if you apply another notch, you'll see it goes a bit harder on the dynamic braking. Now this thing, like most American passenger trains, brakes like a pig on a water slide that's been covered in butter. So don't expect much in the way of the braking department. And they are a true air brake too, so when you apply them, it will look like they applied immediately on the gauges, but they don't. They take time to propagate throughout the train, and it can take quite a while before the rear of the train's actually braking. And vice versa, when you release the brakes, it can take a while for the rear of the train to actually release. It's good to have a proper horn in the game. It is a very nice sounding horn. The diesel engine sounds pretty good too. Coming up to our speed, so I'll just take her back to notch 1 just to maintain the tautness of our train. Looks like there's been a change there. I don't remember seeing tramways on there before, so looks like the route might have had a little bit of an update. Cool. Steeper gradient now, so it's taken away some of our speed. Now we are coming up to CMOF, so I'll just throttle off and apply a minimum application. The combination of the air brakes and gravity should slow us back down to the appropriate speed of 5 miles an hour. I don't really know how American engineers can handle the excitement of running in yards at 5 miles an hour. There's water in the LA River again. That never happens. You can hear the air brakes grinding away behind us. And the flashing red, we're heading off into the yard. I'll release the brakes now. We'll keep slowing down for a little while. So the back of the train's probably still braking at this point. Give the brakes a quick squirt just to knock off that last couple of miles an hour and release again. Now I should check our points coming in here because you need to make sure that the routing is correct, because they are manually switched points. I find most of the time when it brings you in here they are, but I like to check. Another train roaring off on our right down there. You can probably tell there the train does have suspension. Not going to wait for this whole thing to go all the way through here at 5 miles an hour for over half a mile. So once we get clear of these points, I'll show you how to shut her down. Driving from the cab car end is exactly the same as it has been in Antelope and San Bernardino. No changes. All right, let's jump back in. Notch back to idle. Put on a brake application heavy enough to stop us. Now, if you were shutting down to get out or go up to the other end, it's the same. So you put the brakes all the way up to handle off. It should be just past suppression without going into emergency. All right, then we cut the brakes off. Reverse it back to neutral. Take it out. Headlights off because this train's not being used anymore. You don't need to stop the engine or anything like that, unless you desperately feel like it. You could. You don't even need to do anything with the switches in this one, but you would typically turn the gen field off when you were leaving a locomotive. In reality, you would also apply a handbrake, but you don't need to here. All right, let's climb down amongst the wheels. And there we go. That's been your brief introduction to the F59PH. If you got any questions, chuck them down below. And thanks for having a look. Hope it helped you out. Flying car! It's always funny when you see them. All right, enjoy yourself. See ya.
We played a game.